Hello, thanks for joining us today. I'm Jay Flynn, Director of the Homes for Heroes Foundation. I'm joined today by Elizabeth Alanis, President of Light the Line, Thomas Storino, and his wife, Michelle, who's a Chicago police officer. Homes for Heroes Mortgage Specialist is what Thomas does for us. Elizabeth French, she's the Executive Director, a teacher, and mother of fallen officer Ella French. Joshua Bloss and Carlos Yanez, CPD officers. So that's Chicago PD, if you guys haven't figured that out already. And they were partners to Ella French. Guys, it's my honor to be with all of you today.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Awesome. So, as part of the Homes for Heroes Circle of Giving, the Homes for Heroes Foundation provides grants to nonprofits whose mission is to help our heroes who are in need. Thomas, I believe you've got something over there behind you.
You said, well, Michelle, I'll grab it because I'm a little immobile.
There we go. So Michelle's going to grab it. So guys, Thomas and I are honored to present this $5,000 Homes for Heroes Foundation grant to Light the Line.
Oh my God, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Michelle, flash the camera. Perfect.
Yeah. She's like our Vanna White.
The Chucky.
So everybody that didn't know that, surprise.
Oh my
Thank you
God.
so
That's
much. That
wonderful.
means a lot.
Yes, it does, and it helps a lot.
Awesome.
It'll
So
go a long way.
if we could, let's take a few minutes and talk about Light the Line. So Elizabeth, Miss French, obviously Light the Line is near and dear to both of you. Take just a few minutes. Tell us about the mission and why it's so important.
You want to start?
Do you want to start?
'Cause
So our mission is to offer support and services for law enforcement and their immediate families. We intend to provide these services on the field while they're out there, such as we were out there for the DNC. So, excuse me. So large scale events, we want to be right there with them. Because I think that really, and it really showed in a lot of pictures, their smiles, their gratitude, just to know that we took the time out of and I say we, I actually worked it, but Mrs. French, Carlos, Joshua's my son, he was working it as well, but our volunteers, and they really were just smiling and just, very happy, telling us thank you. And we provided some small meals to them, something to drink. And we had our mobile unit out there just going to all these different officers that were all over the city of Chicago. One of the things that happened with large scale events is that things pretty much shut down. So you have the downtown area that is shut down, all the stores, restaurants, they're shut down. And when you have officers who, need a snack or need something to drink or, just to say hi and hey, we appreciate you, goes a long way while they're out there, on the field, so that is part of our mission. And basically the second half of that is to offer workshops for officers. We talk a lot about officer wellness and, the different modalities that we can bring in. And our department does a pretty good job to give them these classes and information. But we're police officers, and I've been on the job for almost 25 years. And I know that our attention span is really short. So having workshops, saying, hey, you'll get a free coffee mug or, something like that, that's going to grab their attention, right? And then give a 20-minute, workshop with somebody who is certified to give whatever that class is and say, hey, do you guys want to try this? And we're there at the stations with them, to give them that. Because again, you have to get us up. You have to get us moving. Otherwise, especially the newer generation, right? They sit there with their phones, somebody's lecturing and they're on Twitter or, and you got to get them up off the phone and use their hands for something so that they can learn, a little bit better what's out there to help them, with their well-being and to help them with all the stresses and everything that comes, with the job. Large scale events, like I said, at the districts. And then when we have a critical incident, an officer related shooting, this is where the seed was planted for this idea was when Ella was shot and killed. My son Carlos was there. To make a long story short, I wasn't working at the time. I was off, and I was looking for my son to make sure he was okay. When I got on the scene, it was just a very dark and dreary scene. I mean, there was officers that were walking around that looked like they were zombies, didn't know what to do, didn't know what to think, probably had a million thoughts, in their head. We still had Carlos's vest there on scene. We had Ella's vest on scene, and they had to protect that crime scene, and they had to protect it pretty much the whole night. And there was nobody there to just say, "Hey, would you like something to drink? Do you need to go to the bathroom? How are you feeling? How are you doing? Did you get to call home? Did you text home?" Because I'm sure as soon as families were going to be waking up, they were going to hear that their loved one's working. Oh my God, is he or she okay? So just to be there by them side, by their side when something like this happens, we do have EAP, we do have peer support. They're great, but we need somebody there on the scene with the officers. We can't have that open door policy of, "Hey, we're here when you need us." No, we need to be there because they need us. We need to be with them, and we need to go to them.
Absolutely.
That's my little synopsis of everything to do that we're doing. Did I cover everything?
Absolutely. All right. So Thomas, you're a huge supporter of our heroes. You're married to one, obviously, right? As a Homes for Heroes mortgage specialist. So why does Light in the Line mean so much to you?
Well, kind of obviously being married into it. I've always had a lot of friends that were officers, fire, military. But until that comes home and you hear about everything more than what you see on the news, you hear the real stories at home. You start to realize it's more than just, something happened today, but it mentally, breaks them down. So when I first met Carlos and Liz, when they were bringing this foundation around, the whole mental health thing, I totally get. Now I understand it a lot more. So when they wanted to try to, raise the money for a big mobile unit so they can have, like I said, a psychiatrist on scene or Father Brandt, they need a place that they can decompress, close the doors, forget about what's on the outside, relax, have something to eat or drink, use the washroom if they have to. I was a big supporter of that because to me now it makes sense, but I didn't understand that before. Obviously, Michelle, I had no idea how bad it really was until you constantly hear the stories. And then when, unfortunately, her commander was killed 2018, that I really started to see it, that it was just a lot more than just they have to go out there and they could potentially get shot. It's more than just that, especially with all of her injuries on the job too. It's a mental break. So this was an awesome thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it really, obviously is going to hold a ton of value to the officers there. Really, when they're having their darkest times, as we talked kind of before we went live, me being in the fire service, sometimes we're always there, law enforcement, we're there in other folks' darkest time, but it really could be our darkest time as well at the moment. So.
Absolutely. And to have somebody there for you while you're there for people that you're servicing, I think is a big deal, to have that, there with you.
So Joshua, Carlos, we're not gonna let you guys off the hook here. So I know you guys are part of the foundation there with Light the Line. Why are grants like this from the Homes for Heroes Foundation so important to you guys and important to the law enforcement community?
Well, do you want to talk first? Well, in my perspective, because I can no longer be a police officer and serve with my brothers and sisters on the job, being a part of anything that is supportive for them or giving them any resources, I want to be a part of. And when Liz Alanis and Rhonda and Elizabeth French, got together and they started this, they asked, do you want to be a part of this? I was like, definitely, 100%. And when they had that idea of getting this mobile unit, originally it was going to be for critical incidences, because as first responders, we all know that we're quick to help other people, but we're on the back burner of asking for help. So, and it's a lot easier for first responders to communicate with other first responders also being through traumatic incidences. And since the incident, I've had a lot of officers reach out to me and confide in me. And I have no background in education and therapy or something like that. But just listening to them and talking to them and being what I've been through, it's helped a lot of officers. So, in that perspective, I definitely want to be there, a part of Like the Line, to assist in any way I can. But as far as the grants and the money, the DNC was a total success. We had so many donations coming in. We gave everything out to the officers that we had, and we never ran out of resources, which was amazing for the first full run event. It was multiple days, so it was a major success, and it brought so much happiness to me, to see the smiles on the officers' faces, and to be a part of something so great that I know it's going to be so huge in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like Carlos was saying, things like this are just help us with all of our resources and getting stuff out to people. I know during DNC, I was working, so I wasn't able to assist in the mobile unit. But talking with people and knowing people that did receive stuff that was visited by the mobile unit, and even seeing pictures, everybody was just so happy and grateful. And even thinking about it, I never had anything like that while I was out there before. Nothing like that before. People, there've been nice people supportive, handing out stuff when they can't, but an actual organization coming out there with a vehicle like that, and just opening the doors, stuff spilling out. Here, take what you need. What do you need? Anything that they handle, packages, food, water, everything like that. It is such a mental boost just to have all this stuff. Have somebody there that is trying to take care of you while you're taking care of other people and assisting you. Asking what do you need. When you're there trying to help others.
Absolutely, yeah, that's huge. All right, so Elizabeth, the Homes for Heroes Foundation, myself, Thomas, we're so honored that we can support you guys with this $5,000. I know you guys have visions and things you want to get done. So how do you guys plan to use these funds to support the law enforcement heroes there in the Chicago community?
Well, we have our mobile unit, and I like to point out that it's the very first, law enforcement mobile unit that offers the support and services on the field for law enforcement. We were just amazed that, there wasn't anything out there. We did our research. So this is the first of its kind. So we're going to build on our mobile unit. We are definitely going to add, and we are intending to have a fleet of them, so that this way we, city of Chicago, right, is pretty big, so that we can offer more services, right, in different locations. And so we intend to use the money that we are getting, especially for this year, is to provide more services for them at the stations like I spoke of earlier, and get those experts to come and do that. And then we want to tweak a little bit our mobile unit. We want to install a bathroom in our mobile unit, because that's actually a very big thing for law enforcement. When everything is shut down, it's like, where's the bathroom,
Yeah.
And so we already talked to a couple of people who said that, it's possible, they can do it. So that's something that we want to put in there as well. We were able to assist some people and take them to bathrooms, locations and stuff. But we really want one that's inside the mobile unit. So that's what we intend to do for the rest of the year, work at for the rest of the year.
Well, that's awesome. So if folks wanted to learn more or get involved, where can they go to find more information?
They can go to our website, which is www.liketheline.org. We're also, Like the Line is on Twitter. Is it still called Twitter?
X.
X.
Yeah.
X. And Instagram. We have Instagram as well as Facebook. And we have, all of those. So definitely we are always out there updating and giving people information.
Awesome. Well, you guys are doing such wonderful work, obviously needed work. I would be remiss to not mention Officer Ella French, who was the crux of kind of how this started. And, what an honor to remember her by doing such great work.
Yes. I'd like to also mention there is somebody who's missing today, Rhonda Anderson. She was my first partner when I got on the job. She's a lieutenant for the Chicago Police Department. She's our vice president. So she's a very important also part of our not-for-profit organization.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you all for taking a few minutes to join me today. We're honored to support you guys, and thank you for everything that you guys are doing to support our heroes. For those that tuned in today, thanks for joining us to hear more about Light the Line and its mission of service there in the Chicago area. Show us a little bit of love, give the video a like, give us a share, leave us a comment. Be sure to tune in next time to hear more about the nonprofits that the Homes for Heroes Foundation partners with across the country to support our heroes in need. I always kind of end the interviews and the presentations with, if you don't do anything else today, just take a couple seconds, see a hero out on the streets, in the store, tell them thank you. Guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you.
Grants from the Homes for Heroes Foundation are made possible by the Homes for Heroes Circle of Giving and its network of real estate professionals who are committed to providing savings to hero groups such as firefighters, EMS, law enforcement, military, active and veterans, healthcare professionals, and teachers. Thank you for watching another Homes for Heroes Foundation grant video about the impact we are making in the hero community with our nonprofit partners. Don't forget to subscribe to the Homes for Heroes YouTube channel, and to learn more about the savings available to heroes through Homes for Heroes, or to learn more about how the Homes for Heroes Foundation is helping heroes in dire need, visit homesforheroes.com.